Thank you.
Thank you. It's so exciting to be here. I want to appreciate the opportunity to speak to the governing body of our economic development funds. I'm going to respond to some of those earlier comments. We purchased 75 acres of land on 49th Street in 2006, before any of you were even on this board, without an appraisal, and it's still sitting there. And it was very close to utilities, could have been developed. There's other land still in Central Crossings, and I carefully listened to testimony by the Go Topeka chair in 2012, where he ticked off and listed off the land that had been bought by each of the entities. I still have it. And there was approximately 300 acres left with just that portion of land. Shovel ready, we've got more than enough shovel ready land. What we don't have is jobs. And we've lost a lot of jobs over the last 2 years. And you know it, and nobody wants to talk about it. But the word that was just mentioned by Lazone was poverty. Poverty has increased over the last several years and before that in Topeka, and that should be a concern, and yet it's never mentioned on this board or with these measurements. It should be part of the performance standards that we begin to, and it needs to be a goal, that we begin to address and reduce poverty in this community. The poor pay this tax. It is a regressive tax, and they pay proportionally more of their income than any of us on this tax for the purchases they make in this county. They need to be considered, and year after year, I watch Lazone, and he's never considered. I find it reprehensible. That's a good word for it. The carry forward monies, how much of that came out of the small and disadvantaged part of that budget? I've seen those numbers. They've been carried over a lot. How many people could have been helped? I'm putting into the record tonight a copy of the service agreement between Go Topeka and the Chamber. And it talks about paying for country club dues. I'm sure that's reducing poverty somewhere. Also putting a letter to the editor on accountability wanted for our tax money into the record. I strongly disagree that I was confused, or anybody else that's talked to me about these numbers, about how much money is being transferred to the Chamber of our Go Topeka public money. I'm not confused at all when I read those. But rather than comment on it, I'm going to put some more information into the record. And I'm going to go back and talk to some more people that brought me those documents originally. And they may have a little more tax expertise than I do, but I know what I saw, and I know that I am correct, but I'm just going to drop it with that, and I'm going to go back and review that. These are expenses that were reimbursed by Go Topeka in 4 years. This was got through a Quora to the Topeka Capital Journal, and they shared those with me, said at no cost they were able to get that. There's a lot. I'm going to ask for an extension.
Been a request for extension of time. Is there a motion? Seeing none, thank you very much.
Well, thank you for not listening. I appreciate it.
Councilwoman Hiller, do we need to?
I think we need to break.
They've notified me that we need to take a short break to change the tape. We almost made it. So,
They did it pretty quickly last night.
so Ms. Noy, you're next. So after we change the tape.
Okay.
Yeah. Better than before.
What is it? I don't
They knew.
Oh, I did get one, but I didn't.
See what happens when you leave? Chairs thing downstairs.
Get the CPA gone back on it. We're ready. Mr. Chairman.
We are back in session. Have taken a short break. Ms. Noy with the League of Women Voters, to be followed by Carol Marple.
Good evening, members of JEDO. Camille Noy with the League of Women Voters, Topeka, Shawnee County. Primarily, I wanted to let you know our league has started a study of JEDO. We're 6 months into what we anticipate will be a 2-year study, and we hope to come out with some constructive recommendations for the JEDO at the conclusion of that study. I'd like to just bring to your attention, I was very heartened by Councilman Eberhardt's discussion that she initiated. She touched on a number of issues and some of the rest of you that we have considered. And I'd like to let you know about some resources that I've come across in doing this study. One is a Pew report from the Pew Foundation on objectives and performance measures for economic development entities. And it has some very good information in it and recommendations. There also is such a thing as a performance audit for economic development entities. I found online the performance audit for the city of San Diego. Google search is a wonderful thing. San Diego is much bigger, but they had some constructive recommendations and some criticisms of the San Diego economic development. I think it's an in-house agency. Also in Topeka, Dr. Paul Byrne at Washburn. He teaches economics, and he has kind of an area of expertise in economic development. He's going to come to speak to our JEDO study group in January, and I would think he would be a good resource and would know who you could contact to do the kind of setting of objectives, goals, and performance measures. I would just think he would be knowledgeable in that area. So I wanted to bring that to your attention. And I'm under the 4 minutes, unless there's questions.
Question by Commissioner Archer.
Yeah, please, and I think it's great. Are you working with anyone specifically with Go Topeka or one of the JEDO members?
Not yet.
I think that might be a good idea.
Oh, yes, we plan to. What we have done is reviewed all of the minutes from JEDO since the beginning and summarized each year, which we will be glad to make available at some point to people who are new to the JEDO. We've looked at what some other cities are doing in terms of their structure and where they get money. We've looked at that Pew report and spent a lot of time discussing that. We have developed a list of people we're going to interview, which will be past JEDO members and possibly current JEDO members. I'm not sure how willing people are able to talk. Go Topeka Board of Directors, current and some past members. So we do want to talk to all of those folks, as well as I think we've got some other people in mind too. So this is why it's taking us 2 years. We've got a long agenda.
Okay. Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Any other comments or questions? Thank you very much.
Okay, you're welcome.
And then Carol Marple.
Yes, I'm Carol Marple. I keep changing my mind what I want to say in the public comments, and I do pay attention to protocol. So Commissioner Cook, would you ask Mayor Wogas and Commissioner Bueller, do they have any kind of position on the Heartland Visioning Group? Are you on the board? Are they on the board of the Heartland Visioning Group or organization?
Is that a question for the...
Yes, that's a question for you to ask to them.
Okay. No, I mean, historically, traditionally, we don't, this isn't a question and answer period. although if either one of them wish to speak or respond.
Voluntarily, yes. I do serve on the management committee. I've served on the steering committee and have since the beginning of Heartland Visioning, yes.
What-
Don't get compensated, that is purely voluntary.
Is that not a conflict of interest to vote to give them money?
I don't believe so. No. This body has to allocate it in the budget, and then it has to go to the separate governing bodies as well. So
But
there's
you
a-
allocated it to the budget. And you are connected with them.
That's correct.
And Mayor Wolgast?
I'm on the steering committee, which is the group of about 60 community people that meet on a monthly basis, working on the goals and objectives of Heartland Visioning.
To me, that doesn't seem right, that you are connected to this board or this organization, and you just voted to give them money.
Fully disclosed on my conflict of interest with Heartland Visioning. And all my conflicts of interest, it's fully disclosed, but I serve on the Board of County Commissioners as
Well, I kind of think that you should have passed on the vote.
That's your opinion, ma'am.
So noted.
Yes, it is.
All right.
And I'd like to,
Thank you.
Is there comments from?
yes, I've got some more comments. I want to thank Commissioner Archer and Commissioner Cook for voting no to fund them for $60,000. I have sat here for many years and listened. The funding was withdrawn, as I remember, and I did not intend to speak about this because we could see no good that it did. And in less than 6 months, we have funded them again. Now, I've heard Mr. Lazone Gray, speak about poverty, unemployment, and to me, that's important. That $60,000 could have better been served by having somebody use it to give jobs to our youth. I don't understand the mindset. We're not addressing, I don't feel, the needs of our community. You know, yes, we all like to have fun, we like to do things, but if we don't have jobs, if we don't keep our children, our young adults out of mischief, you know, we're not doing our job. I think that is our priority, not Heartland Visioning, especially where they have already had money for, I believe it was started in 2008, and I could be wrong. You know, they've had years of money from the taxpayer dollar and not done well. And Mr. Gray has never had an opportunity to do anything. And since I'm out of time and I know everybody wants to go home, I'll not make any more comments.
Any discussion? None? All right, then, I would remind that we do have, as upcoming meetings, number 9, we have upcoming meetings on Wednesday, February the 11th, 2015, May the 13th, 2015, September 9th of 2015, and December the 9th of 2015, of which will be chaired by Mayor Wolgast or his other designee, as the rules would so allow. Thank you for the year of allowing me to chair JEDO, and I believe that draws us to an end. Meeting's adjourned.
Nathan, what was your comment or your request for February? She wants your